CJ the Smart Guy with you. And today I'm with a really great guest, not only an attorney, but he's also in the crypto space, an author, overall great guy, and a pastor. So Jay Gregory Smith, man, appreciate you for coming on.
Appreciate it. Good to see you, my man, CJ. Love to see you. I just go by Greg. I'm real simple. I keep it simple. You understand what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I keep it real simple. So no, it's a pleasure to be here, man. It's just been a pleasure to know you and to get to know you, especially in this crypto space. Love that where we're going and what we're doing. The fact that we're educating our community, the Black and brown community. Everybody needs education. I'm not against anybody getting educated, but I know there's an intense need for us to have some type of focus. And I appreciate the fact that you're involved. You know, I'm involved. Other folks are involved. And I think that we become the beacon of hope or light for others to come in and say, hey, they're doing it. Why don't we check it out at least, see what's going on?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, just glad to be here, man. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, appreciate you for coming on. I also appreciate you for coming out to Naj's event. So in 2021, as well as 2022, Naj had the Digital Financial Revolution Tour, and it came here to Houston at Emancipation Park, and you showed up both times, man. Appreciate you for coming. What was your experience like while we were at the Houston portion of our tour?
Yeah, had an awesome time. I remember the first time we had to wait on the bus. The bus was coming. Or the RV, I guess it was coming in. We were kind of waiting like, yo, where is it? What's going on? But we were hanging in there, educating people. It was exciting. Had a lot of people out there trying to figure out, what's this Bitcoin thing? What's going on? How do we get involved? And I mean, it was just an exciting experience. I just appreciate the opportunity to be able to be involved. You guys had me come out and just to help to educate people individually so they could learn what's going on. I think that's been the biggest hindrance for our people is the fact that we don't get to know. We don't have someone investing in us, pouring into us, making sure we have the information so we can make intelligent decisions. You know, we say, well, they don't do anything. They're not involved. Well, we're not involved because we don't know.
We don't know.
So it was awesome. And even this year, was able to go out once again and just to see the people. What was interesting this year, slightly different than last year, was we had is just the way Naja was able to insert a whole bunch of different speakers. She had speakers last year, but it was just different areas. I want you to hear from this person who's involved in this area of business. This person is involved with crypto and business this way. And this person, yourself, like a CPA and involved in what does this mean? And so being able to educate people from these different perspectives.
Yeah.
That was hot. That was hot.
Because we had Jasmine Brunson.
Yes.
She's the data scientist.
Yes.
We had Black Regal.
Yes.
He was focused on the self-sovereignty aspect.
Absolutely.
You're the attorney, and I'm the CPA.
Yeah.
And then Naj has got the actual physical brick and mortar cryptocurrency exchange.
It was awesome.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was all that and a bag of chips, as they say.
Yeah. So how'd you get into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency overall?
Interesting story. This is going to date me a little bit, but back in 2011, I was actually a prosecuting attorney. And many people say, oh my God, you're a prosecutor. Actually, it was great because I could really influence and help people more so than just put people in jail.
Yeah.
But I remember this so clearly. I was walking around when I first heard about cryptocurrency. I said to the folks in the office, I said, this is going to be big.
Yeah.
And I said, and we were dealing with it from a criminal aspect. So what was happening is people, in order to they dealing in pornography. They were dealing in sex trafficking, some other things. They would use drugs, of course. They would use Bitcoin or cryptos. Really, Bitcoin was the main one. So I don't know if there was anything else back then. I don't know, but Bitcoin was really it. They would use that as a currency to pay for these different services without those services being tracked.
Yeah.
So we actually had started putting together a crypto team that was starting to invest. This is back in 2011.
Wow.
This is back then. So I knew it, but what I didn't know, and so here's the interesting piece. I didn't purchase at that time because my experience is just me was that crypto was associated with the dark web.
Yeah.
So that was that kind of nomenclature. So you had to deal with that thought process. And so that's kind of pulled me back. That was the only reason, because I said in my mind, this is going to be big. Yeah. It's just a matter of time before we're able to do this and handle this. And so when I was thinking about it, fast forward to the future, what happened was I was able to probably around 14, no, that's a little bit further back. So 16, that's when I kind of was like, you know what, this has been around long enough. We're starting to see some very legitimate uses, right?
Yep.
It's not going anywhere. And I said, I need to get involved. So I got involved a little bit, start to dibble and dabble and start to see those returns. You're like, wow, this is something
crazy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So that was kind of my journey into it. I started way over here, but I kind of slowly got to the place where I embarked, and I knew it was something definitely get involved with.
Yeah, that dark web, I remember, because I learned about it in college.
Oh, yeah.
But see, I learned it from people who were associated with the dark web. And I was like, I don't want anything to do with this at all. Like, y'all, they were like, it can't be traced. I was like, bro, it's on the internet. Anything on the internet can be traced. Like, what are you doing?
Exactly.
And so I didn't believe any of it. But I do know that they had like something called Leaky Faucet or something, where you can like play a game. And I believe that I had played, and I think I have like 50 Bitcoin somewhere on some random computer that I threw away like 10 years ago. It's probably in some field.
Wow.
And I have no idea how to get it. I'm not going to try.
You're not going to do like the guy that got the 100 million Bitcoin.
Nah, I'm not doing it. Because by
tearing up the whole field.
I'm not doing it. But I do believe I had like 50, but I know I didn't understand what I was doing.
Wow.
And I never really tried. I didn't really start heavily getting into it until the movie Dope came out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, what is this? And then I was just broke. So I would download the Coinbase app.
Right.
They gave me that $25 free. I was like, cool. And then I couldn't take it off. So I had to wait. And then my homeboy who had downloaded it too, he was like, hey, man, we're rich. It's like, well, we rich. That $25 turned to like 700 something.
Wow.
Man, I sold it so quick, paid off my rent.
Right.
But then that's when I started studying it.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. That's these stories that get to you. And I mean, I don't know the last time we've had a new asset class.
Yeah.
And that's what this is. I mean, this is an opportunity for you to be, and we're still at what, 1-2%?
Yeah, it's so small.
It's so small. So there's plenty of opportunity for you to embark, engage. I know we're at a low and people are like concerned we're in the bear market. It happens. It's going to happen. That's the cycles of Bitcoin. But it's opportunity.
Yeah.
That's what we got to remember. It's opportunity for people to get something, hold on, and all of a sudden years down the road, be like, man, I'm glad I did this.
Yeah. I've always been told to follow the drug dealers, the prostitutes, and the strippers because they have additional barriers to entry for their finances. So if me being an accountant and an entrepreneur who doesn't do anything illegal, but if I could pay attention to the ways that they're doing it and just, engineer something legal into some of what I'm doing, you'll be like, you'll be setting yourself up for success because they have additional barriers.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about illegality because everything I'm doing is on the up and up.
Absolutely.
But Bitcoin, when you follow them, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That's legit.
That is legit for sure.
Yeah.
No, that's good stuff, man. I remember too in 2016 up to 2017. That's when we had the drop in December.
Yep.
December. It was like everybody was going bananas. I remember that. Then all of a sudden, everybody was freaking out. Oh
yeah.
My God.
January 2017.
17. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah,
you're right. Yeah, that was it.
It just
went up to 20K. You had millionaires that come out of the woodwork. Then it was just like, we good.
Yeah.
But I held on. It's funny because I held on for those few years, and I remember it going up. It go to like 9,000, come down to 3,000.
Yeah.
Go up to, this is after being at 20,000.
Yeah.
It was just this kind of fluctuation thing that was going on.
And it would get me every time I was like buying.
Right.
And, oh man, here we go, about to go up again. And it'd go down. I'm like,
nah. It was like, nah, we don't do that.
Nah.
We don't do that.
But yeah, I held on because I think it was, December 2017, I think was the,
2016 to 17.
Yeah.
Right. It was that January. It was that Christmas time.
Yeah.
Because I remember that. I remember being.
I was in Virginia.
Yeah. I think we were in PA at the time because I remember, I just clearly remember sitting there. It was like just before Christmas. I was like, man, is it going to go up?
Yeah.
Is it going to go up?
Yeah.
And it was like, we in a little different place right now.
2018, 2019,
yeah.
COVID.
Right. And all of a sudden.
And I was like, oh, there's all my money back. And, and then some. And it was a great time. And that's really when the Black Bitcoin billionaires really started taking off, was December 2020.
Yeah.
Because that's when Bitcoin all of a sudden went back up and it went beyond 20,000. And we were all just like, whoa.
Yeah. Crazy. Man.
Look.
You could take 20,000 and be at 120,000. It was like in 6 months.
Yeah.
Like just like that.
The doubt.
I know somebody did that. Went from 20 to 118,000 like that.
Yeah. That 3-year doubt that we had where it just kept going down.
Yeah.
Instantly was just like, oh no. We were doing the right things.
Yeah.
And now there's no telling me. Like, I don't care if it's all the way down to 20 now, because I remember when it was at 4.
Right.
So it don't bother me at all.
Right. You're like, hey, let's accumulate more.
Accumulate more. It's the best time.
What's the side question? What's the tax ramifications on that? How does that work out? Because I know that's always a concern of people getting involved. I know there's taxable events and that kind of thing, but how does that work out? Just what if I get it and hold it? Is that what's the deal? Yeah.
So if all you do is buy it, if you dollar cost average, say you buy Bitcoin every single day, you don't have to report how much you have. You don't have to report which coin you have. You don't have to pay any taxes on it whatsoever. It's only when you sell it, when you exchange it for another cryptocurrency, or you spend it.
Okay.
Now, if you earn cryptocurrency from your business or something, you still report that as the income. So whatever the value of it in US dollars when you receive it, you have to report that, but you don't have to report that you received it in Bitcoin.
Okay.
So it's actually not too bad. It's just more complicated. But the actual tax ramifications for crypto are actually pretty favorable. It's just extremely complicated and cumbersome for no reason.
And I know the law changed, which was a big thing, where you had to report versus prior to that, you didn't really have to report, correct?
Well, so in 2017, before 2017, everybody was using a like-kind exchange because crypto is considered property.
Gotcha.
So if they were exchanging one crypto for another crypto, literally they'd say, okay, this is the first crypto I bought. All these exchanges are all just all like-kind. And at the very end, this is what I was ended up with. And they would just, that would be the loss or the gain. But Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, they said that like-kind exchange is only for property, like real estate. So that got taken away. And so now you have to report every single one of those exchanges on a Form 8949.
Gotcha.
And that has created havoc for a lot of these traders. And it's crazy.
Yeah, no, I can absolutely. And then I know the regular tax laws have changed.
Yeah.
Where now, what is this, $600? And
oh, yeah.
That's a whole nother answer.
Venmo, PayPal, Cash App.
That is crazy. When you think about it, it's crazy from this perspective. I understand you have a different political party in. I understand there's motivations. This is their way of raising money. I understand. That's what's going on. That's really what's happening. Yeah. But I think the problem is my mother sends me some money. I send my mom's money. My daughter, I send her tons of money.
Yeah.
I mean, my son, these are all normal course that Cash App and Venmo have made and Zelle have made easy to do, because now I don't have to try to get to a bank. You had to try to, we used to do the wire. What was it called? Can't even think of the name of it. You go to the store. You go to the store and what's the the place? Western Union.
Western Union. Yeah. Look, I never went to Western Union.
You never went to, oh man, my kids need some money or something. Western Union. Yeah. You go there, you got to fill out the form. Yeah. You got to send the $100. Dude, that's gone.
I have no money back then.
Yeah, but this it was that was what you had to do. It was a pain.
Yeah.
Now, I need 50. My son called me. Yeah, Cash App. My dad, I need some money for food. Okay.
Yeah.
My daughter, Dad, I need something to get the Uber home. Okay, Done. Cash.
Yeah. Simple. Technology.
Yeah, technology. Yeah. And which really, Bitcoin's technology.
Man. So you said you're a lawyer. You said you used to be a prosecuting lawyer.
Yeah.
What type of law are you practicing now?
Excuse me. Currently, I'm a New Jersey attorney who moved to Houston 2 years ago.
Okay.
And because of COVID, actually, COVID's been great for me in the sense that once we were back in court, it was all virtual.
Yeah.
So it's funny because for the last 2 years, I've had my bow tie on, my shirt on, and my shorts.
Yeah. Yeah, living it up.
Right, because you don't know. I mean, you don't know. I got my shorts but it's been beautiful. And I've been doing criminal, been doing municipal court. That's all your traffic tickets, but also heavy into doing immigration. And I know this is like the land of immigration because you're close to Mexico.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of immigration issues here. And also doing a little bit of bankruptcy too. But yeah, what's interesting is I don't have to take the Texas bar, but I have to sit for the professional responsibility exam.
Okay.
So once I do that, I can waive in because I've been practicing long enough where I can waive into the state of Texas and go from there. So that's the last piece of the puzzle I need to do. But what does that mean? That means I can do immigration. That's national, right? You don't have to be practicing in that particular state to do immigration in that state.
Okay.
Just so you understand, because it's federal law. So anything federal, I can do federal prosecution. If I was a prosecutor, I could do a federal prosecution, federal defense, federal lawsuits. I could do anything federal. Immigration, bankruptcy is federal. So that's why those things I could do anywhere. So it doesn't matter. I just have to, not for immigration. Actually, immigration, I'm already registered, so I can go into any immigration court. For the bankruptcy, I would actually have to apply to that specific court. So they have these district courts that are everywhere throughout the country. So I would have to do the Federal District Court of Houston.
Got you.
You got me?
Yeah.
So they'll have one. It actually won't say Houston. It will say whatever the Southwest Federal Jurisdiction Court. So I would have to apply to that. But the great thing is you can still practice law. That's my point. I'm trying to get to. I kind of took a long time to get to it, but you got what I'm saying.
No, because every profession is different.
Yeah.
I know me being a CPA, my license is based in California, but I live in Texas. But on a federal level, I can do out federal taxes, and I can even do states. It's just that if you are a multi-million-dollar corporation and you want to get some of those state deductions and things of that nature, you might want to have somebody that's in that state.
Gotcha.
As well as if you are doing trusts or estates, you might want to have somebody who's in that state because they might have more knowledge of it.
Understood.
But for 95% of people, it shouldn't even matter.
You're good to go.
Yeah. And then you have mentioned immigration. So what is your typical type of client that you take on?
So you got different, immigration's huge. And interesting enough, with immigration, you do need kind of a specialty area because you have attorneys who just focus on more of a routine type of, people trying to come and become citizens in the United States. That's more of a paper type flow type thing. I've actually done a lot of the deportation hearings, things of that nature. So I'm a litigator at heart. I'm the guy who loves to be in front of the jury. I love to be in front of the judge, trying to argue my point, that kind of thing. So I've done a lot of the, hey, judge, when we look at this particular individual, we understand that they've been here for X amount of years. They've been doing the right things. They've been filing their taxes. They look at that. Yeah. Funny enough, that even if you're illegal, they look at, do you file taxes? Yeah. They want to know, are you serious about being in this country?
Yeah.
Right? Because we understand that everybody basically came from somewhere.
Yeah.
That's in this country.
Yeah.
You weren't just naturally here. You came from some other, whether it was Italy, whether it was Africa, wherever it was, you came from somewhere here. So same way, they want to see if you're legit. And I understand. At one point, I think we had 11 million undocumented people. That's a lot of people. Yeah. A lot of people working underneath the table, as they say, getting those dollars, maybe being paid in Bitcoin. I don't know. but
that's not financial advice.
Right. That's not. No. Yeah. No, I'm not. Please don't take it that way. Educational purposes only.
That part, yeah.
And so it's just interesting to think about it. But I focus more on the deportation hearings. I like that stuff because, like I said, I get to argue. I've had some interesting cases. The way immigration law is set up, very different than criminal law. They don't have the same rights. So it's not the same way. I had a kid, I'll never forget this. this kid, he clearly had some mental issues, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was slow. He was literally, the teachers have a scale. And on this particular, when they did this IEP, which is an educational assessment, they found out that he was on the lower end of his IQ was like 60.
Oh,
so you already know, I'm not making this up. They've assessed him and they said, everything doesn't click the way we would say based on the scale, the way you may think generally, right? And so, but the kid had been involved with some other boys, and they ended up doing some stupid stuff. He had a receiving stolen property. He had a theft charge. He had a couple other theft charges. And what I was trying to argue in the immigration court was that he had, the mental capacity wasn't there really. Yeah. And that really we should be able, I was trying to get the criminal court. So these things work in conjunction, right? So I was trying to get the criminal court where he was prosecuted to overturn his conviction. Why? He had already, he had already served time and did that. But I wanted to have him overturn that based on his mental capacity. I'm saying, listen, this dude didn't even understand what was going on. Yeah. And you looked at the transcript, it was really clear. Yeah. But I wanted to give you that kind of background to now fast forward to the immigration portion. So I had to go also to immigration court. So I was literally doing both at the same time. I'm arguing, trying to do what's called a post-conviction relief, which is where you try to overturn the conviction. And then at the same time, I was going to immigration court and trying to get them to say, hey, listen, this kid has a lot of problems. We shouldn't send him back to a place where he has no family. Man. He's been here since he was 2. Man. He's now 20. Wow. And you want to send him back to a place just because he never, which is crazy because his mother, father, sisters all became U.S. citizens.
Wow.
They left him out, not necessarily intentionally, just, money and different things like that. So as a matter of fact, this is going to really blow you away. His father, which you don't know, is in the immigration law, they have what's called derivative citizens. Mm-hmm. So if your parents become U.S. citizens before you're 18, you're fine. You're grandfathered in.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Now, you still got to go through the paperwork. Yeah. You still got to go through the process, but it's automatic.
It's automatic. Wow.
He missed it by 3 months. His father literally, because the immigration process takes so long, it could take years. It can be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got people 8, 9.
Wow.
It's crazy. You're like, what is going on?
Yeah, yeah.
So you understand we got some things to work through. Yeah. In our thing. So I wanted to give you that backtrack so you could understand how severe they end up deporting him.
Wow.
Sending him back to, I think he was in the DR, and all his family was in the U.S. now. So wow. Just imagine, and then they're trying to figure out what to do and how do we support him, and
So there was a recent Supreme Court decision. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but it was called Egbert versus Bull. Okay. Where essentially there's like 100-mile border around the entire country now where Border Patrol, they don't need a warrant now to arrest people. They can just say, hey, you're violating this, mm-hmm. and they can just arrest you, no warrant or anything like that. Do you think that's constitutional? I mean, because the Supreme Court just basically said that that's okay, but any thoughts on that, if you have any knowledge on it?
Yeah, I don't have a lot of knowledge. I kind of vaguely understand and know what you're talking about. I think the interesting thing is that what people have to understand, this is why when we, from a political perspective, a lot of people were worried about people being elected to office, not realizing that perhaps the most powerful offices are the judges' seats. Mm. You don't think about it, because guess what? You may not make it back to office, right? Yeah. You may not make it. But the judges, most of those seats, there's a few exceptions. Most of the federal judges are lifetime.
You're talking about the Supreme Court judges.
I'm talking about the district federal courts. I'm talking about all of them. Yeah. And all of them make decisions. Yeah. That's lifetime. So imagine if you were made a federal court, depending on which one, but majority of them, if you were made a federal judge, you would literally be there the rest of your life.
Wow.
What does that mean? That means that you're not worried about getting kicked out. You're not worried about, unless you just do something so egregious that they impeach you. They would have to impeach you in order to get you out. But that would be, you have to be something really egregious, really bad, illegal, something really that they can prove, you know. And so what does that mean? The decisions are being made by people in the last administration had some insight into, hey, let's put some judges in place, and that way we can influence how things go. I'm not trying to get into politics at all. I'm just saying that was just a very strong strategic move that most people would just totally overlook. Went over their head, because the previous administration could have did it too. They left a ton of offices vacant, open. No condemnation. I'm saying people prioritize whatever they prioritize. You understand what I'm saying? And so now we're starting to see the impact. So when you talk about something like that, you got the Supreme Court backing up. What am I to say? I mean,
6'3". I don't care if it's left or right. 6'3". I don't like that. Let's keep it 5'4" at all times. Like, you know,
at least a chance, right?
At least a chance.
So
and also something to do with immigration. I saw that Coinbase was working with ICE, who now also works with BlackRock. So, you know, you said you were a prosecutor in the crypto space back in 2011. How do you think that they can utilize Coinbase as a way to prosecute, you know, people that are illegal in this country that are using Coinbase or cryptocurrencies?
Easy. You get the folks, you get Coinbase, which we know they're going to already report to the IRS. That's done. They see your little slip. Come and here's your little slip. So I send to my accountant and then and go from there. But now they're giving the police the information or ICE the information. Hey, these people who ICE may say, oh, these people are all legal. Coinbase says, oh, yeah, here's the information. So they've been sending money over here, over there, over there. Pretty soon what's going to happen is ICE is going to figure out, and they're going to be able to get to one of those individuals or companies in one of those spots. They put the squeeze on them. Now they get back to the person.
Wow.
It's real simple. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, you got to remember, criminals, people who are trying to deceive, they get more advanced all the time, but law enforcement does too.
It only takes a matter of time.
I mean, it is amazing. I mean, some of the things I haven't been on a prosecutor since 2016, but even back then we were triangulating signals from the cell tower, so we know this person was at that. You couldn't say I wasn't there. No. Your phone was there at this time. At the time this person was killed.
We know.
We know. We can almost pinpoint where
you should be pleading the fifth. Not talking.
You know. So that same thing is they're using that technology to be able to trace. The other thing is you know once because think about it. If I have been the big dilemma with cryptos. How do you translate that to dollars? Right. So as far as I know, what I've had to do, which I'm sure everybody else, is you have a relationship with your bank. They send it over to your bank, just like anything, an ACH, a wire, whatever they're going to do, and that's how you get use of the cash. Right. We don't have a system yet where I can just say I'm gonna just pay for all this in Bitcoin and then I'll receive. Now, if they had that, that'd be different. But they don't have that. And you can best believe because the system's based on ledgers and the way it transfers, it's just a matter of time. And I'm sure the government's been working on how do we track this? How do we know that you sent me some Bitcoin?
That's what they're working on. 87,000 additional IRS agents. So
that's crazy.
So for those that don't know, so me being a CPA, on August 5th, there was 2 laws that were signed into play. One was for additional audits for PPP loans. The other one was for additional audits on EIDL loans. And then the Inflation Reduction Act got passed through the Senate, which means the House is going to be pretty easy. And what that does is that adds like 87,000 IRS agents. It's like an $80 billion budget. So they are about to audit everything. Like they're about to go crazy mode. And once again, it's not political, but this regime, they basically said the watchdogs are back.
Yeah.
And they're happy about it because the last two, regimes, both of those administrations had lowered the amount of IRS agents. So for the last 12 years, it's been going down. And this one was like, no, we're going to raise it all the way back up to where it was before. And so I've tried to warn people the last couple of years, make sure you check that box yes on the front of your 1040.
Yeah.
In 2019, it was on your Schedule 1. 2020 was on the first page. They changed the question in 2021. They changed it in 2022. Like that's because the next one's about to change again. But that means they're paying attention.
Wow.
They're trying to make it, they're trying to put that question as easy as possible so that people commit fraud, so they have an infinite amount of time. Like you said, they don't have the technology yet, but they will.
Yeah.
So if they don't get it for 7 years, if you commit fraud, you check that box no, knowing you've been doing crypto transactions, they're just going to do a double check between your social security number on your KYC Coinbase account versus your IRS, tax return. They're going to see, oh, this was a lie. And when they do have the technology, that's when they come after you. And so I've been trying to tell people to just check the box yes, take fraud off the table.
Yeah.
Like, why would you even?
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Just, what are you doing? So, I'm always trying to make sure the people on my station, the people that I'm talking to when I'm going out, at least they know that.
Makes sense. I mean, I agree. I think it's, what it is people sometimes in the back of your mind, they may be thinking, hey, I'm getting away with a little bit. Just deal with it. No, it's the thought of the IRS makes people nervous.
Oh, yeah.
It makes people, they don't want to deal with it. And most of the times you can deal with it. You just got to, hey, let's work through it.
Yeah.
And it's not comfortable.
No.
But it's better than dealing with the alternative.
Oh, yeah. Nobody, because they say Bitcoin is unconfiscatable, but we're not.
Yeah.
Look, people can go to jail. They got bars. Yeah. So people think they can outsmart people. Oh, yeah, you can't touch my Bitcoin, but we could touch you.
Yeah.
So.
Period.
Yeah. So I know that you're also an author now.
Yeah. So that's my new endeavor.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about that. We got.
Yeah. So I wrote this little book. This was actually a long process. It's called It's Simple to Plan. Producing a one-page script for your life.
Okay.
And the concept comes from SIMPLE stands for Systematic Individual Management Plan to Live Effectively.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah. So I look at what I did is the story actually goes back to the beginning of my marriage. I was like in year 4, had a couple of kids. My daughters like 2 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember my wife and I were having problems, man. Doors of divorce, just kind of going, butting our heads. And I remember getting to a place, just a quiet place, and I was just like, God, what do I do?
Yeah.
And no lie, it was just like I heard God just speak back to me, say, you got it within you. And I was like, what? What does that mean? Like, what does that mean? What is that? And so really out of that conversation I had with God, it was like, you know what to do. You got to know, you got to start planning. You got to start to show your wife that you have vision. And I honestly think this book was written for everybody, but I started to, as I started finishing the book, I started saying to myself, I should focus this a little bit more on men, because I do think sometimes we get lost in the sauce, if you will. We don't always have the training or the individuals around us to be able to impart into what we need to understand, become those visionaries. And that can apply to everybody. That can apply to women, because I want my girls to have a vision.
Exactly.
I got it. My wife is a very strong woman, so I want everybody to have a vision.
Yeah,
I want them to, absolutely right. You know what I mean? Yeah. So in doing this, even that play on producing a one-page script for your life, you're the director of your life. Mm-hmm. You get to control where you're going. You get to change it. You don't like what you're doing. You don't like these lights and cameras. Yeah. You get to change it.
Yeah.
You don't like being a CPA. You get to change it.
Yeah.
That's beautiful about life. We don't have to be stuck in our scenario.
Yeah.
We choose to stay there. It becomes easy. Listen. What's life if we're just walking through doing the same thing over and over again?
That's death. That's not life.
Wow. Come on, brother. That's what I'm talking about. So I address these things. And what's neat is in this plan, I talk about my life, how I came up with these things, and simple actually stands for. I told you what it stands for, but I create this 1-page chart.
Okay.
So originally when I created this system, it was like 30 pages.
Yeah.
I had a vision for all my kids, myself. I was just going in it. Yeah. 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. Where are we going to be? Yeah. And then it came to me. I said, man, this is too much. I can't review this every day.
Yeah, no.
So I said, what about one piece of paper?
There you go.
1 page.
Yeah.
And what I did is I came up with this system. I came up with 30 days, 90 days, 1, 2, 3 years.
Okay.
And what I do is we look at these 6 areas. Of course, simple.
Of course.
Simple, spiritual. So that's personal development, whatever that connection you have. Well, I'm not getting into the religious thing, but I'm saying spiritual where you connect with yourself. I think that's critical for people to have a connection, understanding who they are from a spiritual aspect, right? Then I go into interest. That's your passion. What do you love to do? What is the thing that you can stay up all night doing? Yeah. People who know me, I'm a tech freak. Yeah. Man, I can stay up all. That's the one thing. It doesn't matter. I'll be like, oh yeah, you still up? I know. I can't believe I'm still up. But I love doing that kind of thing, right? Yeah. And then I talk about money. Okay. Oh my God, that's critical. Yeah. It's critical. So I look at your money aspect, and you really evaluate what's going on there. People. Yeah. That's who are we hanging around? Our family, our friends. That's where you're addressing those things. Where are things we're going to do with that? I look at, and then of course, learning. Learning, yeah. When I stop learning, I stop living. Man, who you telling? Come on. Try to learn something new every single day. Every day. It's critical. And then the last thing is energy or exercise. Man, I need that. So you're doing these goals for 30 days. Yeah. Those 6 goals. You evaluate, what did I do? Money, did I save? Did I do this? What did I do? People, who do I hang out with? Did I spend some time with this? Learning, what did I learn? Blah, blah, blah. What did I do? Am I better shape than I was 30 days ago? 90 days, 1 year. What's nice is that you do something every month with the 30 days, because obviously you got 30 months. 90 days, you only do it 4 times a year. Yeah. The 1 year the second year becomes the first year. The third year becomes the second year. Yeah. So I only do once a year. I do 1 more year. Yeah. So it's a nice little cycle, and it's 1 page, folks. The power of 1 page is that I put this on my bathroom wall. You see it every day. Every day. So I'm brushing my teeth. I'm looking. It's focusing. People don't understand the power of focus. You see how there's some great books out there on focus, about habits and things. And we don't realize the reason we don't do certain things because we don't focus on it. Yeah. And so anyway, that's the premise of this book. And so it is actually finished. We're going to have it out on Amazon and everywhere else soon. So I'm going to try to do a big promo and marketing thing, but I'm proud of this work. This has been, this was a lot of time and effort, but I think it's going to help some people. Man, congrats, man. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. And if we have one more thing you would say, what would you say to the people? Listen, I would encourage each of you to look deep within, begin to challenge yourself in your values. Yeah. Because your values are going to be the thing that holds you up. They become the pillars within your life. Yeah. So that you can have long, enjoyable life. Man. So that's the thing I would really, it's funny because even though you'd be like, values, that came out of nowhere. But I had to learn that. That was one of the most important things I had to learn. My wife used to say, babe, what are your values? Man. And when she would say, I was like, why are you talking to me like that? But what she was saying is, what are your pillars that you stand on? What are the things, like one of the things she does is she's excellence. Mm-hmm. If it's not done in an excellent way, she doesn't want anything to do with it. Got you. You understand what I'm saying? That's a pillar. Yeah. That's a value, the way I live. Yeah. I want to treat people right. Yeah, exactly. You understand what I'm saying? So that's a value. That's something. Everybody don't care. Some people don't care. You're right. To some people, that's not important. Yeah, that's not a value. They can care less. Wow. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, that's I would encourage people to do that. Nah, there you have it. Y'all make sure you look at your values, look introspectively, keep it simple. Make sure you check out It's Simple to Plan on Amazon coming soon. Man, appreciate you, Greg, for coming out. Man, yeah, and look, y'all, make sure you check that box. Yes, if you're in the cryptocurrency space. Yes, yes. Take it easy. Take care.